We are going to be working with functions. These are some important definitions that you need to know. The domain of a relation is the set of first coordinates of the ordered pairs in the relation. There are some x values that are not legal values for substitution and are therefore excluded from the domain. So if this is the first coordinate, if you remember your coordinate point, it's always x comma y. So the domain is referring to your x values. The range of a relation is the set of second coordinates of the ordered pairs. So that is your range. So domain refers to the x values that are being used. Range is referring to the y values that are being used. A function is a relation in which no two different ordered pairs have the same first coordinate. So no two different ordered pairs, the same x value. So in these problems, determine whether each relation is a function and then give the domain and range for each relation. So this one is a function because I've got 1, 2, 3 different ordered pairs and they do not have the same x values. Range so yes, it's a function. I've got two different ordered pairs here that have the same x value, so this is not a function. But I can still give the domain. The domain, x values being used, range, let's see, 6 and 7. Now, functional notation. F of x, this is not f times x, it's f of x, is a shorthand notation indicating what you need to put in for x and at the same time what equation you have to use to get the y value or the output. Always remember that y is equal to f of x or g of x or h of x. When you have functional notation, that is referring to your y value. But using this notation, I can be given the function that I need to work with and at the same time, like it said, given the x value. So I have got two different functions. I've got f of x equals negative 3x squared plus 4x minus 1, and I've got g of x is equal to 2 minus x squared. So find each of the following. This tells me go to the g function, and when I get there, substitute in 0. So if I do that, substitute in 0, my answer is 2. So I know that my coordinate point that goes with this is 0, 2. You don't have to write this down unless they ask you. F of negative 2. I'm supposed to take negative 2 and put it in for x. Now I can do it using order of operations, but I'd rather store because it's quicker. I've got to see both of those. So negative 2, turn it on. Negative 2, store in for x. Remember, STO is right above your on key. And then press enter to let it know this is what you want. And now you just type your function in as you see it. So my answer is negative 21. But what else is nice about this is if I've got other values, like if you'll see 5 and 6, I have to go to back to the same function, store in your new value, second enter, so that one's negative 96, two, store in for x, second enter, press enter, So that one's equal to -5. It's very quick, and I like that. I'm going to use my storing for these too. Let's see if we can do it in our head, then see if it works on the calculator. If I substitute -4 in, I have to use parentheses. So a -4 squared would be 16. So 2 minus 16, that should be a -14. Let's see. So -4, storing for x. Can't even see it, can you? 2 minus x squared. When I use this, I don't have to worry about parentheses. So there's my -14. I had 0 a moment ago, and you should never have to store 0, but I like to store. There's my 2. Store in 3. So -7. Sometimes storing's very nice. It saves you a lot of time, so you do need to get used to that. Now you can store numbers, but in these particular problems you cannot store letters. So I've got to take this, put it in for x. I have got to get an answer, because remember, in order of operations you have to do exponents, and since I'm going to have 3 terms here, then once I put that in there I need to subtract, which will change all signs. Now x plus h quantity squared means this. You have to FOIL. So that gives me x squared plus 2hx plus h squared. If I have more than one letter, I always put it in alphabetical order. Now, change all signs because you are subtracting. And that's my answer. There's no like terms, so that's as far as I can go. So why don't you try this one? Go to F, and wherever you see X, there's 2 locations. Take this, parentheses and all, and substitute in. If you FOIL this, you should have that. We could go ahead and distribute this through. Now let's distribute the -3 through. Watch your signs. Now I do have like terms here. I'm going to go ahead and put it in descending order. So I've got -3a squared, got 6a, 4a, that's a plus 10a. Looks like -8. So that's it. In the last one, I'm supposed to substitute t in for x. That was nice. So if you were just given a letter, really you're just renaming the letter up here. Remember, every once in a while, if I'm given a different letter, I'll go and use X. So in a way, I'm just renaming the letter. So that's it for the introduction to functions. Please memorize the domain, range, and what a function is. Thank you.